active development and table map. It's the same one that was presented at our study session. But now they've added Elkhead townhomes. And the pre-con is April 15th. We went over the ADU guidelines, which was the same presentation that we had before. And then how we brought up how we want single family design for the ADUs. So we talked about that, and they're going to be looking into what that looks like. We went over the form-based code example and proposed zoning map rough draft.
Okay,
How's that?
and that Shiva, you'll have to post that for when they're gonna double up the
Comp plan?
no,
Oh.
For the calendar.
double up the calendar.
Yes, it's already updated on the website.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, thank you, Kenny. I guess we have consent agenda up next.
On tonight's consent agenda is an engineering services proposal for design of the wastewater treatment plant magnesium hydroxide system improvements and claims and payroll.
Move to approve the engineering service proposal for designs of the wastewater.
Just the consent agenda.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Hi.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay. And into the regular agenda.
And the first item is grant acceptance for the Buckley Rainier School Water System Consolidation Feasibility Study.
Move to approve grant acceptance for the Buckley Rainier School Water System Consolidation Feasibility Study.
Second.
Okay, Director Banks will be here
And
with,
Dom.
with two hats and Dom.
Dom, you want to speak to it? Basically, the city applied for a grant through DOH to conduct a feasibility study on consolidating the DSHS water system and the city of Buckley's water system. This feasibility study will look at basically all the source and treatment facilities owned by DSHS and the city of Buckley. It will also look at their distribution and our distribution and really how to move forward. To see if it makes sense on consolidating the water systems later down the road or not.
Okay, this is something DOH has been wanting for a while.
They've been wanting it for a long time.
Yeah, so we got a grant.
So, yeah, and DSHS couldn't apply for the grant because they're a state. They're an arm of the state, so the city had to actually apply for the grant.
Okay. Okay, good. And things may change depending what happens with the school, but at the same time, this may be in advance of that, needs to be done one way or the other.
Mhm.
Per their request, basically. It'd be nice to get that done.
Yep.
So. Okay. Anybody, any questions? Denise?
So I just had a question. I didn't 100% understand this. Is the grant for $5,000 or is the grant for 50?
50.
50,
It's
okay,
for 50,000.
okay. I like 50.
5,000 doesn't get you very far.
No, that's what I was thinking. It's like, it seems like a lot of paperwork for a small amount, if that's all it is. So
Yeah.
thank you for clarifying that.
Okay. Anybody else? Questions? And you got anything from Mackenzie? No? Okay. All right, was a regular. All right, all in favor? All opposed?
Motion carries. The next item is an engineering services proposal for Amendment 1 right-of-way phase Spruce Street Improvements Project.
Move to approve engineering services proposal for amendment 1 right-of-way phase Spruce Street improvement project.
Second,
Okay. Chris is here again too, if he wants to speak to this. I think everybody on council's kind of up on this. This has been a little long time coming, but
Yeah,
it's.
we need to acquire temporary construction easements and permanent easements and maybe even a little land acquisition there at the end of Main and Spruce. So that's what this is. This is to facilitate that work.
Yep. Okay. Anybody? Questions, comments, concerns? I know I'll be glad to see this moving forward as we can afford it. We may get all these pieces in place and wait till we get some more building permits, but at least this piece will be done.
Which we are starting to see an influx of building permits. We've seen quite a few this week and quite a few late last week. So
Good.
We'll be given a staff report at the next council meeting on
Okay,
basically permit status. So
Okay.
but we are seeing activity.
yeah, it's April, it's time
Yeah.
to break ground and,
Yep.
okay. All right. Anybody else? No? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries. Next item is approval of the Public Art and Murals Act application from the Buckley Downtown Association.
Move to approve the public art application submitted by the Buckley Downtown Association.
Second. Yep.
Okay. Anybody questions, comments, concerns on this? This has also been a long time coming and this will be, I'm sure there'll be lots of moving parts, but this will be good. There's a lot of small towns with really nice murals and so. Okay, Mackenzie, nothing? Okay. All right, nope, anybody? No questions? You're all up to speed. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
Do you have any staff reports this evening? I think Chris, you're the only one.
You
No,
got me,
no.
Chris.
Okay. Okay. And we're back to public comment. Anybody like to speak for a whopping 3 minutes or less? All right. Okay, council member comments and good of the order. Be Amanda.
I had somebody ask me, who was going to be in charge of maintenance for the dog park. That's not, I don't know if it's officially the dog park yet, but they put the fencing up so people bring their dogs in there. And so I don't know. Is that that maintained by the contract through
No,
Enumclaw?
it's maintained. No, it'll be maintained by city staff.
It will, okay, okay. And then I had somebody else ask me about the lovely non-working EV parking spots in the firehouse parking lot.
Those,
Like, are they just gonna be removed? Like, people just like, are they ever gonna be replaced? Or are they just gonna sit there or are they gonna be taken out?
we can look into removing them. You can't get parts for those.
Okay.
Parts for those units are obsolete.
Okay.
So as far as replacing them, that's something that we can discuss at a later date as far
Okay.
as whether that you guys want EV stations back there or not.
Somebody just asked because they just park there anyway and figure
Yeah.
it's not a big deal. And I just said, I don't think it is because they don't work.
Yeah.
So, okay.
If it don't work, cause isn't it on like a registry or it pops up when you Google them?
I don't know if those are, but I don't know that. I can look into that.
Then we should take it off if it don't work.
Yeah.
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 So that is a thing.
Yeah.
I will.
We may want to look into pulling those and then capping them electrically or whatever safely and.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
we can tie back onto it later if
I'll look
somebody
into that.
want to
Okay.
upgrade. Yeah, who gets the fun job to weed eat in the dog park? That's always a good time.
Lots of people use it. Yeah.
There's some goggles.
Yes. And okay, Ron.
Not a comment, kind of along the lines of my colleague. People reached out to me. We have streetlights out in Mountain Circle.
Okay, we'll call them in.
Okay,
We'll get the poll numbers and call them in.
I believe 473 would be the closest one
Okay,
that I have been made aware of. And on the issue of the EV parking. Was that a condition of construction when that parking lot was put in?
yeah, I think Dom, correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't that part of the grant, one of the grants we got to help with that
Yes.
parking lot upgrade?
Okay.
But I don't think there was a remaining condition that required that they be there. I frankly remember like the day after they were installed, somebody cut the cable and disabled it.
Okay.
So it's had its issues with it.
They still keep on. The other thing to look into maybe is if, which I don't know the power there, but can't you put, if you, like the new ones we install, they have a meter, so like the city could actually it would be revenue for them. Right?
Yeah, and I don't know a lot about that, but we
You'd
can
have
look
to-
into those too.
I know they're not cheap though.
And that's what this was initially for as
Yeah.
well, the city was getting the revenue. Or a split. But yeah, I think. There's sometimes even some grant opportunities for that to get there, the fact that the power's actually there, may be a bonus to be able to install a. Modern one that has a modern system that can get revenue for the city.
I don't know at that point at which it makes sense that it actually pays for itself, you know what I mean, but. The cost versus what we get.
Yeah, and the maintenance and the vandalism around it. Cause
I
those,
know
those have
We've
been,
installed them and literally walked away and not even been live and they're stealing the cords behind us. The tweakers are just cutting them off and stealing them.
yeah,
There's copper in there. There's, there.
Can't make money that way.
No.
Cut the cord.
Okay, anything else, Ron?
Quick question. I know I was there for the groundbreaking and it was a small trench and very rocky and I had a hard time getting my shovel in there to flip it over. However, there's a big hole there now.
Mhm.
So that's gonna be is that gonna be the
Footing.
foundation for the
Yeah.
amphitheater?
Yep. Yep,
So that's all they've moved on so far.
yeah, it's like.
yeah, it's pretty
When I say,
wet.
I mean.
It's pretty wet.
Yeah,
Pavilion.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, now it's a swimming pool.
Yeah.
So the water.
And
goes-
the prefabbed gazebo or structure, if you will, is got a long lead time of like 12 to 14 weeks. So
Okay,
I imagine they're gonna wait for some better weather before they start trying to pour concrete.
okay. All right, super. All right, anybody else? All right. With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
Thank you, council.
Yeah. I absolutely will. Yep. Of course it can. Bin of binder clips.